feeling like I'm academics.
To happen.
Hey, yo, want to inflict some violence. What type of violence are we talking about, chat? What type of violence are we talking about? Shit, if Diddy like niggas, he's around niggas. It might be a different type of violence. What up with y'all, chat? Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, we're back in for a long one today. We're going to be doing some Diddy coverage, of course. But 100%, absolutely, we got to get to some regular rap coverage as well. So buckle in, man. Today's Good Friday. Or it's not Good Friday, but it's a Good Friday, I would hope, for you. Maybe not for Diddy, but we'll see. Anyway, we got a bunch of just, this thing in the media sense, when you have somebody as high profile as Diddy that gets incarcerated, like, unfortunately, and I gotta admit this, the media is kind of like vultures, right? Like, it's like that's the carcass and everybody's finna eat off of it. You're gonna hear everything till next Tuesday about Diddy. You're gonna hear a nigga try to stab him in jail, because these are all headlines, right? These are all headlines. Be like, oh shit, they found a shank in the person next to Diddy's cell. They might have tried. They're gonna milk every story, because when I first seen the Diddy's on Suicide Watch, I don't think Diddy's actually really trying to kill himself yet. And also, we also got to think about Epstein angle. We'll get into that later. Immediately when I said, I'm like, yo, this is just another way to like get more clicks as media. I know, because I'm in media, right? I'm telling you, you're gonna hear everything about Diddy. Okay. Tomorrow you're gonna hear the shower conditions. You're gonna hear that one. There was a lockdown because one fucking CO missed some security protocol, so the whole jail went into lockdown. It jeopardized his freedom. New motions coming out. They're already saying they want to move him to a different jail. You're gonna see so many headlines. Again, this is gonna be like a 2-year process, and at least for the first 3 months, you get what I mean? There's probably gonna be a superseding indictment. We hear about more victims. We'll get into that too. There's gonna be so many things that are gonna come out, and half of them, I gotta be honest with you, just me being on the media side of things, bro. I know how this shit goes. Half of these things are bullshit. Like, yes, he's locked up. You know what I mean? But all these other ancillary things is like, no, it's good. Next, you're going to hear, oh, his kids are worried about him. Then you're going to hear, remember that magic health condition? Listen, man, Diddy been fucking bitches for 40 years in 3-day-long freak-offs. That nigga ran a marathon in New York City. Come on, bro. He had to be in somewhat of a good shape. And every time he did a freak off, the nigga had motherfucking baby oil pouring through his veins through them IVs in the morning. So my nigga he got to be in good shape. But now you're going to hear that his health is in a deteriorating. How much I want to bet we're going to hear talks of a possible terminal illness that he never disclosed, but he's been managing. We're going to hear all of this. The media is going to love it. It's just bigger and more headlines. Unfortunately, that's just really what it is. You know what I mean? Again, it's the biggest story. Obviously, the story that's in rap, so we cover it generally. But, ancillary media that usually covers politics, they might be like, all right, for 3 days, okay, we'll stop being on Donald Trump's D and just cover, who's been on Diddy's D, pause, or whose D he been on. So anyway, I do have to give a little bit of warning on some of the stuff we might see here. It not everything is true, and I'm saying this from the media perspective. Like right now, if you're a company, if I'm Daily Mail, if I'm TMZ, every day you're gonna see a Diddy headline. It's not making it up. We're gonna reach for it. You get what I'm saying? Yo, like the whole Suicide Watch thing, it's protocol. Like actually, a lot of times when people go into protective custody, due to the nature of it being protective custody, where they're deprived of certain, human, needs, like interaction, like, being out of their cell a little bit more often. They worry about the person's mind state. And that is usually a protocol that is, in line. I don't know if it's just called Suicide Watch, but it's in line with what people would consider Suicide Watch. You get what I'm saying? But, it's Diddy. Like, yo, we're all thinking, yo, we all got this play scripted out like a motherfucker already. Yo, they're either going to kill him, right? And when we're thinking we're like the same people who killed Jeffrey Epstein, right? They're either going to kill him or he's going to do the Aaron Hernandez, realize like he got life and he going to kill himself. Or a nigga going to try him in jail. Or maybe do the freak offs in jail. Who knows? So anyways, it's unfortunately, And this is why I'm trying to also add some empathy to the situation, not necessarily on Diddy's side, but for everybody involved. because I think for us, we're kind of detached so much that we're looking at this shit like characters, right? Like, yo, what's new in the Diddy news? Not knowing that he got multiple kids, new baby, like shit, he has a baby that probably can't even talk yet. Didn't he have just baby love like a year ago or something like that? So, you know, we're still dealing with someone's life and freedom, and they have a lot of people who care about him. So we try to respect that. But of course, we're going to respect the victims as well, right? Or potential alleged victims as well. All right. Let me see where we should start. By the way, for all my people on Twitch, we do have, and as soon as I say that, like, I give the disclaimer that we got to be a little bit serious, have some empathy. The fuckery in me never stops, yo. Listen, man, we need y'all niggas to sub up on Twitch. 1,000 subs is gonna get us to buy the 1,000 bottles of baby oil that they found up in Diddy's crib. He ain't using them. We might have to, you know what I mean, put them on wholesale somewhere, Amazon, eBay, something. So we trying to buy the batch from the feds. Every sub will go towards copping the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, KY jelly, and all type of lubricant, you know what I mean, WD-40 that he found up in that bitch. But, again, I'll start off with the obvious. The news did come down that Diddy was on Suic Watch, right? And, you know, again, I think what's kind of fascinating about this whole entire story is not only that Diddy is getting pretty much taken down. It's like for me and you who've never really experienced that level of luxury, right? Like that level of luxury. Like someone was telling me a story last night. They're like, yo, if you think Diddy ain't going through it, they were basically saying like, yo, they were at some spot with Diddy, and who was telling me this? Or maybe I was seeing it on an interview. And basically they said Diddy went to use the bathroom, came out of the bathroom. I guess his hands were wet. I don't even know, or he didn't wash his hands. All he did was hold out his hands, and he had handlers or like butlers or whatever. They washed his hands for him. He had to do nothing. Dried it, everything, and then he just walked away. Like a guy who's used to that amount of care. Like this guy was getting daily, supposedly massages sometimes up to 3 times a day. He had a doctor on call sometimes to revitalize him after these freak offs. This guy had drivers. This guy had butlers, personal assistants. Like this guy pretty much, he's not really used to doing a lot of number one hard labor, I would imagine, in the last couple of years, and not used to not having someone that he could call to do things. So when you think about that, living in a $50 million house, have your own private jet, you have all type of vehicles, security, life is pretty much, really trumped up at that point. And to be now incarcerated in a cell where literally you are on a set schedule to either get out or to eat, that is a tough thing to adjust to. And I think for us, I'm pretty sure y'all have had a homeboy or uncle or, unfortunately, like that's going to jail. And you don't think about it for them like, damn, how are they dealing with jail, right? But like for Diddy, we're like, how is Diddy gonna cope, right? And really, it's just that we're trying to, put ourselves maybe in his shoes and then think about the drastic change in lifestyle and how some of the amenities he might be afforded when he was free, they're all taken away. What would that do to a person, right? So I think that's part of the fascination. Anyway, here, let me see this. He sent, okay, I'll read this, then I'll read the update up top later. Anyway, it says Diddy, who's now, if you don't know, at the Brooklyn MDC. This is the Manhattan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He was placed on Suic Watch. And he was placed on Suic Watch on intake. And apparently his lawyer is coming out to say, because now everyone's, speculating and saying, oh man, there we go. Like, I've seen one of these. It's kind of sad how even gambling has gotten at this point. People are betting on the election. People are betting on Diddy's case. They're betting on him either beating it, him going to jail for life. But I seen another site today put up a bet. Like they have a line on if Diddy kills himself. And it's like, wow. People are really genuinely intrigued, but also kind of watching this to see like how this is on play as a movie. So when you hear Suic Watch, it kind of fuels those kind of narratives like, oh shit, he's already trying to slit the wrist, right? However, his attorney did speak to TMZ, and the attorney said, listen, the Suicide Watch directive that was issued by the MDC officials were merely routine for how new high-profile inmates are being done or are being taken in. I think Suicide Watch as well, it's not only meticulous amount of supervision where they're keeping an eye on you, but also like certain things aren't in the cell that could be used, potentially in a suicide attempt, right? Which once you kind of get off of that level of Suicide Watch, you're like afforded those things to kind of be around, if you get what I'm saying, right? Which I would love to see protective custody and Suicide Watch. How much of obviously protective custody, you would just think you're in isolation, and protected from the rest of the inmates. I want to see what Suicide Watch probably entails. Anyway, they says Agnophilia noted he spent 6 hours with Diddy at the federal lockup. Okay, yeah, shit. If I'm paying my lawyer millions, he got to be in jail with me. He got to be in jail with me. Like, shit, he got to have the Brian Steele approach. Remember Brian Steele, Young Thug's attorney? He said, Your Honor, if you're going to lock me up, could you lock me up with Jeffrey? That's when I knew that nigga was real. Lock me up with my client. Let's make sure everything's on the up and up. Anyway, the music mogul, so his lawyer is saying the music mogul turned criminal defendant is not suicidal at all. And in fact, they're saying Diddy is actually strong, healthy, confident, and focused on his defense. That's kind of a little bit contradictory because the lawyer for Diddy did file a document in seal to the judge saying that there's a health condition, an underlying health condition that, the judge should consider before denying bail, right? I guess this is a press conference by this lawyer.
We're considering.
I believe this was after the bail hearing, right? So this is after he got denied bail. Here we go.
An appeal to the Second Circuit, and we're.
So this is how it works. The magistrate said no. They did the first appeal, which is the district judge. The district judge is going to be on the case entirely. He said no. Now they're appealing his ruling to the Second Circuit Court, which is almost the Court of Appeals, damn near. They're gonna look into this, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna stick with the same circumstances or stick with the same decision. But you never know. You never know.
We're certainly getting ready to try the case.
Also, this appeal, whatever appeal they have, they could come back with more evidence, right, to satisfy whatever the last judge claimed was the problem. Flight of risk. Well, we did this. We gave the passports. Blah blah blah. Also, I keep telling you the biggest thing is that he contacted witnesses. I don't know how you could make that abundantly clear that he will not contact anybody who could be a witness. I mean, by the nature of like even saying you're letting him out and he's going to be maybe allowed to work or not work, but necessarily allowed to make a living. He works in an industry where supposedly he abused the people in the industry. So it's like even doing business would be pretty much like talking to people who could be indirectly either witnesses or people of interest. So you don't know.
So that's really what our focus is.
How did last night go for him? How, did he give you any details?
I'm going. It's tough. Listen, it's all tough on him. It's tough on everybody.
Yeah.
And I expect that he's going to have to reach deep inside and find the resolve to go on and fight this case, which is what he's going to do.
Flight risk is that he is too dangerous. Is that what you took away, and what do you think about that?
Listen, I'm planning on appealing it, so that's what I think about it.
Weird question. What is he eating? Have you heard anything about the food that they're serving him in there? The treatment?
I don't think the fruit's very good. He eats a lot of fruit. He's actually a very healthy eater.
How's his sons doing?
They're doing okay. I think they're disappointed.
Right.
Do you think there's some bias with his bail getting denied, but Donald Trump has been convicted of numerous felonies, but Trump is running for president and he's free? Do you think there's some bias there? Be honest.
My honest answer is
20-something felonies.
I think
3
I hear you. I hear you.
versus 3.
Has anyone?
This guy offered up $50 million in bail
I'm with you.
Has anyone actually like sat down and kind of explained to the twins what's going on? Are they fully aware of
Yes.
Okay.
They're fully aware. Watch out.
Sir, can you address one more time why you requested Essex County?
It's better for the person who's being housed there. It's a little less difficult. MDC is famously, I'll just put it, difficult to be there.
You mean conditions-wise?
Conditions-wise. Yeah.
Maybe with the other inmates and like maybe the way that the COs are, or
It's just MDC has historically had tremendous problems, and the problems aren't resolved.
okay.
Essex will be better, you think, How is he feeling right now? For him?
I think Essex would be better. He's focused on his defense. He's focused on his
Best as he
defense.
can be in this bad situation.
That's true.
What did he say to you when this happened? Did he say anything to you? Did he give you like make any emotions to you after he found out that it was denied again?
He's disappointed. He's disappointed that it was denied, and he's a tough guy, like in the real sense, like not like, he's been through a lot, and he is resolved to keep defending himself. He's not broken.
Mark, can I ask you a quick question? Are you planning on filing any motions immediately to try and raise this issue again and getting home?
We are. That's under serious consideration, and we're going to talk to him about that probably tomorrow, and that should be a possibility.
And how soon could that happen?
It could happen in a matter of days or a week or 2 weeks at the most.
Okay, cool. By the way, we're gonna get Myron on here for a second. He has some information to kind of help our reporting go along. He could help us. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna call him. He could help us kind of understand the angle of the Suicide Watch part, and also what I did want to ask him too. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get in the call. I'm calling him right now. If you probably can't hear it ringing. He'll probably add some additional. Yo, Myron, what up, bro?
Yo, what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Chat. Let me just make sure your levels are good. Add some additional. Yo, Myron, what up, bro?
Yeah, what up, man?
We're hearing the feedback.
That was my bad. I was.
Hardcore, shorty scam me like a barcode, heartbreaking, I go viral, they don't know me, so the same niggas smoking out the OZ, ice cold type lick, and I might smoke, hydro, contemplating what I